Hey guys, it's Vas here from Aussie RC Playground and welcome to my review of the LaTrax Alias. Now this is only my second quad, so by no means am I an expert when it comes to quads, but I do have a friend who is. His name is Ryan and he hosts a YouTube channel called the iMacman. I will have a link in the description for you guys to check out, so if you do have any specific questions comparing this quad to maybe something else that I haven't owned, the iMacman would probably be the best person to ask. And as I said, there will be a link in the description. So very quickly, I'm going to run you through some of the things that this guy actually comes equipped with, so that we can move on to the actual review itself. First and foremost, you get a bag of spare blades that you can see there, as well as they give you a couple of spare little joysticks for your remote. If you're not a fan of these big thumb pads, you can swap them out and you can use those. They also give us a charger. Now this is a USB charger, and you know, for the battery that you get, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to charge up your pack, which is not bad. And of course they give you some instruction manuals as well. This one here is a little bit more technical. This one here is just a sort of a quick start guide, how to plug it in, some of the stunts that you can do. Pretty nifty little thing. It's not too bad at all. Of course you get your remote, and they also give us batteries for the remote, which runs on 4 AAAs, and the battery for the quad itself is a 1-cell or 1S 3.7 volt 650 milliamp battery, which will give you around about 10 minutes flight time, depending on the conditions. You will get less than that if you're in windy conditions or if you're doing some major stunts, but you get somewhere around 10, maybe a little bit over 10 on some calm and fairly placid sort of flying. Now, just quickly touching on the manual of the quad, I can tell you that not all information is in the manual provided in the box. A good idea is to check out the LaTrax website, and there you will find some instructions on how to reprogram your controller to be able to do some additional stunts. So out of the box, the quad, you're able to do kind of like a cyclone type of trick. I can't remember what they call it exactly, but basically the quad will continue to spin in one direction, depending which direction you actually instructed it to spin, and you're still able to control it left, right, whichever way as it spins. So it's quite a neat trick. The other button will turn the lights on and off, and I think one of the other buttons will also allow you to do a single flip, and this quad can do forward, back and side to side flips, as well as diagonal flips. So you can flip on this axis as well as flipping on this axis, which is quite cool. So when you go to the LaTrax website, it'll give you instructions to reprogram your controller so that you can use your trick buttons up here to be able to do triple flips as well as quintuple flips. Now of course these type of flips you do want to be outside. You don't really want to do them inside unless you're in a big type of warehouse with a great big high ceiling, because the quad is going to need some height to perform those flips, to perform those stunts. And it's best to go outside and do that sort of thing. You can also program each mode on the remote. So the remote actually comes with 3 modes. One's a beginner mode, which basically you won't be able to flip the quad at all, not even by pressing the trick buttons. So it'll just you know, bank left and right, forward and back, and you can't actually flip it over. Mode 2 will pretty much activate your buttons, your trick buttons, and you can do your tricks then. And it'll also be a little bit faster out of the box. And then mode 3 is your manual mode, where there is no stabilization. You will need to constantly keep stabilizing the quad, and your buttons will be switched off, so there's no tricks on these. And you can perform manual stunts. So if you check out one of my latest videos, I did do a bit of an extended video of the Alias Quad, where I went through 4 battery packs with it. Yes, I do have 4 battery packs. There's 3 here, and of course you can see that there's a 4th one in there because the quad is plugged in. And you can do some manual stunts and really get creative with what you do with this quad. Of course it does become a little bit tricky, and chances are, I mean, if you're a little bit more skillful than me, you might be okay, but if you're not, you're probably going to crash it a few times. Thankfully, the quad is actually quite durable. You can see that I have not changed any of my blades. They're still all, the spare ones are still all brand new in the packet, and I've crashed this thing plenty of times. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up any of the stress marks on these orange blades here, but there are a couple of little stress marks just in here. There's also one great big sort of crack going through the center of the canopy here, and they're all pretty well scuffed up. These blades have seen the ground up close and personal plenty of times, and sometimes unwillingly. So the quad is very, very durable. Easy to fly, fantastic. The modes, each mode is programmable as well, as I was saying. You know, you've got your trimmings here and everything else. You can go into each mode, and even in the beginner mode, like your standard default mode, you can make the quad at full speed and just not be able to flip it over or do any stunts with it. Likewise, if you want to go into manual mode and turn everything right down, you can do that. So it's, you know, each mode that you have on the remote is fully programmable. It's fantastic. The options and the scope that it gives anybody that whether you're experienced or not, the scope that you get with this guy to be able to program it to your liking is just fantastic. I absolutely love the features that it has. Very, very nicely equipped. Another really cool thing as well with this quad, if you can see here, you'll be able to see like a few little holes. This is actually a little speaker, and it gives you an audio signal. When the quad is actually running low on battery, this will start to beep, and that's pretty much, you know, it gives you about 30 seconds or so to bring the quad in before the LiPo cutoff cuts power to the quad, and then it'll just come crashing down to earth. I did push it a little bit too far once. It was beeping, and I just kept flying it for a little bit too long, and sure enough, you know, it lost power and it just came crashing down. So luckily it wasn't too high up. So as soon as you hear the beep, time to bring it in. Nice safe landing, change your battery over, and away you go again. Now I will point out a couple of little annoyances with this quad. It's not all rosy and you know, daisies for this thing. There are a couple of little annoyances. Annoyance number one, I'll turn this guy on. Now you'll see I've turned it on. I still don't have a bind to the quad. You basically need to push down on this tab, and you'll hear that. And now my quad is armed and ready to go. Now the annoying thing is that once I power him down, it'll unbind. You hear the beep there, and now it's unbinded. So then I have to go back in, and it's ready to go again. So that is a little bit annoying, and I haven't been able to find anywhere where you can actually program that to be a little bit longer. So say for example you land the quad to, I don't know, scratch your nose for example. You know, by the time you do that and you want to get the quad back up in the air, you got to bind it again. It's just an annoyance. It's not really a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination, and I wouldn't even call it a negative. It's just annoying. The other thing is, if you do crash the quad fairly hard, it will unbind itself from the remote pretty much automatically. And I think you know, Ryan, the iMacman, actually did say to me that that's more of a safety feature. So basically what happens is, if you crash the quad and it lands upside down, if you're not sure which way it's facing and you try to throttle it, you know, you're going to jam your blades on the ground, and that could you know, obviously hurt your motors. So unbinding after a crash is probably a safety mechanism and not really a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, but that's another thing I noticed. I also noticed on a couple of hard crashes, the battery tends to slide out. Now you can see how it sort of goes in here, that the wires kind of tuck away into a little clip just there, and on a hard crash the battery has slid out, you know, about halfway or so, and on I think 2 or 3 times the battery came out completely, like it completely ripped out of the bottom of the quad. Now it is a fairly sort of snuggish fit, and I guess, you know, you can get away, you can find ways to overcome this. Obviously maybe putting a couple of layers of masking tape around your battery just to give it a much snugger fit in the tray there. Or the best thing to do is avoid serious crashes, and that way the battery won't go flying out anywhere. So that was pretty much the only sort of 2 annoyances, is the binding and the battery sort of coming out. Everything else, guys, honestly, I have no complaints. I mean, you can see that this is a fairly bright quad. I know that I've got lights on, but you know, if you check out my Twilight video, you can see this thing for miles. Very, very easy to fly, very durable, well equipped, a lot of options and scope in the remote to accommodate your skill level, regardless of whether you're beginner or advanced. And you know, there are parts already available for this thing. You guys can check out Dollar Hobbies. I think A-Main have got spare blades and things like that as well available. You know, very, very equipped and well priced. I think if I remember correctly, these are about $149 from Tower Hobbies. I really don't have anything to complain about this thing. Now there are a couple of things that I will point out, just on a slightly side note. I've had a couple of people comment on my videos that I think somebody has had some motor issues, or they've burnt out a couple of motors. I will mention it, but it hasn't happened to me. And I've put close to about 30 packs through this quad, and that is no joke. I've ran 4 packs twice already, and several other times I've charged up the number 1 pack that's in there, which is the original pack that came with the kit. I have flown this thing. I mean, you guys have only seen a couple of videos that I've posted up, but honestly, I have flown this quad. I've really put some mileage on it, and you know, the battle scars on the blades and the cracked canopy is a good evidence to say that you know, I have crashed it, I have abused it, and I have had no issues with it whatsoever. So I guess there may be some unlucky few out there that have had issues with the motors. But me personally, I got nothing but good things to say about this guy, and I can only do this based on the experience I've had with my Alias. So that's really what my review is going to be. Is just, it's a very positive review. It's a big thumbs up for this quad. I highly recommend it. If you like the look of it, you like the features, and you like the fact that, you know, it's a brand that is powered by Traxxas, so you know that there's going to be spare parts available for this guy. Then go ahead and grab it. You will not be disappointed. And I've had a few people even on Facebook that have bought this quad after seeing my videos, and they couldn't be happier. They say that it's fantastic. Lastly, I will point out that underneath the quad, if you guys can see this, there is a port back here, and there's also a couple of little screws over here that are currently not being used. Now, I can only assume that sometime down the line there will possibly be attachments that you can put onto this, and by attachments I mean perhaps a camera that we can actually attach to the Alias Quad and be able to take some aerial footage, which I think is fantastic. Someone did ask me if I could, if the Alias could lift a GoPro. I haven't tried it personally, but I did have the iMacman chime in and tell me that it's too heavy for it. It won't take it. I'm curious to try it. I may even try it one day, but you know, I'll probably just wait for the actual camera to come out for this guy, or any sort of future attachments that they might, I don't know, they might put a rocket on the back of it or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see. So that is pretty much it for this review, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go and check out Aussie RC Playground on Facebook. There's also a link in the description. Be sure to check out the page. It is just a page, guys, not a group. But you can you know, stay ahead of some of the things that are going on behind the scenes of Aussie RC Playground. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you guys again soon. The remote, you also get batteries for the remote, which are for AAAs, not AA's. They also give us, Jesus, okay, burp, why don't you have midway through the review. Have a look at some of the things that, start again. I've had plenty of RCs in my time, and I know a good IC when I see one. If that is, what?